Now we're going to explore the panels, the menus, and we're going to actually do something with this new canvas. So let's take a look around to begin with. Up at the top, we've got the menu. Below that, we have an options menu, and with each tool you select, the options change. This top tool is called the Move tool. That is my default go-to tool. It's the one that does the less harm, or the least amount of harm, when you're working. So if you accidentally click on the canvas, not a whole lot will happen. So I just generally just go straight to that. The keyboard command to get to that is just pressing the letter V on your keyboard. So this is your tool panel, and we're going to go through all the different tools, or a good number of them. Over here, you should be in the default mode like I am, and we've got color swatches and different panels over here, the layers panel. So the first thing we want to do with this next little bit of play is we want to create a new layer in our layers panel. So we go to the bottom of that panel, and you're gonna see all these little icons. The little trash can, and then the one next to it is the new layer icon. So create a new layer, just click on it, and now we've got layer 1 and layer 2. Layer 2 is our active layer. That means when we do something, it's going to affect that layer, and that's where we want to be. Next, I'm going to come over here to the tool panel, and I'm going to click the tool right below the Move tool, and this is the Marquee tool. And if I click and hold on it, I have options here in the Marquee tool. We're just going to click the very top one, the Rectangular Marquee tool. Right now, I'm just going to move my mouse over to my canvas, and you can't see anything. I'm not pressing any buttons or anything. I also can't see where my marquee is. So if that's the case, if you hold down on your space bar, a little hand will pop up, and that's a lot of times easier to see than the crosshairs. So the little hand. And now we know where the marquee is, where the start point is. So this tool works just by clicking and holding and dragging. So you can see I can make all different sizes, kinds, looks of rectangular marquees. And that looks pretty darn good, what I've got right there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here to the tool panel, and right down here, this little gradient, if you click and hold on that, it takes us to the Paint Bucket tool. And that's exactly what we want, the Paint Bucket tool. Then we can come over here to our box, our selection that we made with the Rectangular Marquee tool, and just click. And what it does is it drops black in there. And why black? Well, if you go back to the tool panel, you'll see that black, you've got a swatch of black and a swatch of white. Black is our foreground color and white is our background color. So that paint bucket's going to drop our foreground color in there. Well, black isn't a great way to start this off. So let's click on that black swatch, and the color picker comes up. Now I can click anywhere in here and change my color. Well, right now I'm getting different variations of red. So if I wanted, let's say, green, I come to this slider and I just slide it up till I get green. And I've got variations of green in here as I slide. So I can click around. I'm liking that one to begin with, so I'm going to hit OK. One more thing though. Right here, that's our current color. That was the black we just laid down, and this is what the new color is going to be. Just so you can see that in the future, we'll hit OK. Now, I still have my paint bucket selected. I'm going to come over here to that black square. My dancing ants are still dancing, so I'm going to hit the green. So I just dropped green in there. Let's go back to the Rectangular Marquee tool and draw out another rectangle. Go back to our paint bucket. I'm going to continue to use the green, and I'm going to do this 3 times. And back to the paint bucket. So I've got 3 green blocks on my layer 2, and that's what I want. We are going to create another new layer. So back to the layers panel, down to the bottom, click on the new layer icon. Remember that layer 2 was our active layer, so whenever we click a new layer, it's going to pop up on top of whatever our active layer was, and now layer 3 is our new active layer. I'm going to come over here to the marquee, and this time I'm going to choose the elliptical marquee. So to do this, I just click and hold until this flyout appears, and just then select elliptical marquee, and it'll update right here for you. If I draw a perfect circle, you can see it's kind of hard to be 100% perfect, but if I hold the Shift key, it jumps to a perfect circle. I don't really want it positioned there, so now that I have the circle drawn out in the size I want, if I click with my mouse inside of the selection, I can move this. And I'm moving it up here to the top. My active layer is still number 3. Let's choose a new color. This time I'm going to choose a blue because blue is my favorite color. And then back to the paint bucket and drop that color in. Awesome. We're going to do this 3 times on this layer. So a new elliptical shape, and then the paint bucket, back up here, and I'm going to draw another perfect circle. Once again, I'm going to reposition it. Looking good. Paint bucket, boom. So layer 1 is all green, layer 2 is all green, layer 3 is all blue, and those were the 2 marquee selections. We also have single row marquee and single column marquee. As photographers, those are things we don't really use. Graphic designers, however, use those quite a bit.